been thinking a lot about attention lately. What has my attention? What is it about attention that makes it so powerful? And is the reason that I don't complete some of my New Year's goals because I'm not properly directing my attention? Hi, my name's Audrey, and I'm setting my 2023 New Year's resolutions today. And I'm just trying to figure out, for one, what I should do, but for two, how to actually make them accomplishable. Now, maybe if you're like me, you've set New Year's resolutions in the past and been like, oh yes, this is the year, I'm gonna make big changes, it's gonna be great, things are going to go on an upward trend, and I'm not gonna fall into some of those habits or old patterns that I have in previous years. But if you're like me, you can transition from February into March and wake up one morning and go, I haven't thought about my New Year's resolutions at all. I'm really going to focus in and make sure that I tailor my goals to my attention, and vice versa, tailor my attention to my goals. 3 different ways I've been trying to formulate this. I put them all in R's so I can remember them easily and you can remember them too. 3 R's. So the first one is reflection. Obviously, this is huge with end of the year, reflection questions, look back on the year, the highlights, the lowlights, the ways that I've grown, the ways that I've fallen short. Reflection is a really big part of this whole process. And the reason that it's so important is because of the second R, our resolutions. Now, if we are not focused on what we've learned from the last year, we're not going to be able to curate our resolutions for this coming year nearly as well. It's kind of like the saying goes, I want to say trial by fire, but that's not the right word. Trial and error? Error and trial? Somewhere in there. Basically, we need to learn upon our mistakes. We need to learn from our mistakes so that we can move forward. And so setting our resolutions this year, we want to make sure that we've reflected so we can properly set our resolutions. Now, a lot of times we think of our resolutions, like our goals, like I want to lose 15 pounds, or I want to gain 15 pounds of muscle, or I want to learn a new language. All of these things that we come up with for our resolutions often are parallel to our goals. They're basically the same as our goals. But our resolutions really need to be a level above our goals. These need to be so concrete with how we desire to live in the coming year that our goals build to them. Now, as someone who's typically been a high achiever and someone who's also pretty stubborn, I like to think that I can achieve my resolutions with just one goal. And that doesn't work, you guys. That really doesn't work. But if we set that goal the same level as our resolution, if we fall short over here, our resolution basically gets obliterated. No, our resolutions need to be bigger than our goals if we're going to achieve them, because obviously our goals are going to fail us and we're going to fail our goals at one point or another. Good reflection helps us set good resolutions, but in order to accomplish our resolutions, we need to curate a proper response. And this is where our attention comes in. Most of the problem, you guys, is directing our attention. Our attention is so taken up by insignificant things. Yeah, just take a minute to let it sink in. If you spent 8 seconds a day, or 8 seconds every 2 hours thinking about your goals, you would be so much more likely to accomplish them. Because if I'm going throughout my day and I keep reminding myself in these small increments, my attention goes back to that same thing, or to another thing. Where we direct our attention is going to direct how our resolutions are influenced. So that's kind of my system that I'm using to build out my New Year's resolutions. It's going to be reflection, resolution, and response. And the response is going to be the active part of it. The resolution It's going to be more like an overarching focus for the year. Kind of like if you've ever thought about, you know, picking a word for the year, or if you're a Christian like me, a lot of people in the Christian area do like a verse for the year. And I think our resolutions need to be more like that, and let our goals be more of our response. So I've kind of worked on some of my goals already. They're gonna have to get tweaked, of course. So here's how we're doing it so far. I've got 5 different resolutions that I kind of came up with. They fit into 3 different categories, and I want to put them in these categories to break them down, but also push them together just a little bit. So I'll let you in on what we're looking at. Number 1, I want to look into more food, nutrition, general like eating health. I've naturally just been able to eat whatever I wanted, and that's not gonna suit me for the long term, especially when I get like 35, 40, 60, 70. If I don't set some of those good habits in place now, I'll be giving myself, my future self, a really huge disadvantage. Alongside of that, my other health goal is I do want to put on some muscle weight. I used to be a gymnast, and man, like I really enjoyed having strong shoulders, and my shoulders now are nowhere in comparison. My handstand game is weak. Okay, we'll just be honest. So out of these 2 goals in the health category, I've decided to put in at minimum 4 hours a week. Ideally, I'd like to see an average of 3 workouts a week, and then, hi puppy. Ideally, I'd like to see an average of 3 workouts a week, and then spend the other hour for nutrition. So whether that's nutrition education or meal prepping, or, you know, figuring out my macros for the week, that's what I want my split to be. All of these resolutions, I'm going to be breaking down into 12 sections for the whole year, and I'm assigning each of those sections a specific time frame so that I know how much time I am adding or taking away, you know, from my regular daily schedule, just like last year. My next category is spiritual. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and something that I've worked on several different times, but I really want to get it done 100% this year, and I want you guys to be a part of it. So I am going to work on memorizing Psalm 119, which, if you know anything about the Bible, is like one of the poetic pieces of literature, and it's one of the longest, so pretty intimidating, and it's fairly repetitive, so plus and minuses there. I'm trying to decipher my own writing. I labeled these both at weeks. I think I meant to say 2 hours a week. So, you know, divide that up over how many ever minutes in the mornings or afternoons. The last 2 out of 5 total fall into a self-development category. Now, the first one in there is language. I am a huge language nerd. I love languages. You can talk to me about languages anytime. And I've went back and forth a lot on different languages because I've picked up bits and pieces here and there, and yeah, just went ping pong. Which language do I do? I settled on Korean. 1, there's a wide variety of language learning materials out now. 2, it's really got a super cool alphabet. And 3, some of the different speech production sounds of the language are really difficult. So I want to challenge myself in that area as well. Still trying to figure out how much time I want to spend on it a week. This might be a little bit more casual because I'm not looking to be like fluent in a year or anything. I really don't have any plans to actively like go to South Korea at the moment, or North Korea, just to be clear. But yeah, just gonna learn it and exercise my brain in that way. The other one in self-development is I want to read 12 at minimum personal development books. Now I've got 3 picked out already. I think I'm going to start with this one, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Covey. This is one that's super popular and I've had it for a while, so you can see there's some like water warping. But this is the book I want to start the year off with. I've got one other one I'm finishing. I'll show you guys. This is the one I'm finishing, so gotta finish this up, and I want to do a review for y'all. I just love how practical it is, and I'll talk a little bit more. There's like homework with every chapter, and as someone who's super practical, that feeds my soul. So gonna finish that one and then start the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've got a couple more in the pipeline as well. So one is the Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. I got this one for Christmas, so super excited about it. And then the second one is Winning the War in Your Mind, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life by Craig Groeschel. So we're just gonna give those run. There's some other ones I want to try too, so stay tuned. I might do a separate video entirely on my set of books for the year, but I need to decide on my books first. So there's what we got. I set aside 6 hours a month to get through one of these books. I am a pretty fast reader, so a good portion of the time will actually be taking notes and doing rereading if I need to hit a specific chapter or something like that again. So yes, we'll see what that ends up looking like. All right, so that's the format I've used this year to set up my 2023 goals. If you want to see the full month-to-month breakdown, head on over to my Instagram. I'm going to be posting the whole like 12 months of goals that I've set out for my New Year's resolutions. So very exciting, a little bit intimidating. Y'all can like kindly slap me on the wrist if I don't make my goals, but hopefully we're gonna be focused. We're gonna direct our attention and our goals this year. We're looking forward to seeing them completed in December. So stay tuned. I've got more videos coming. The next video is to be determined, but I'm so excited. Thanks for joining us on the ride. Audrey 2.0 out. That was so cheesy. What am I, some like spy film? Okay, I'm gonna stop.